Hoosiers! What a game it was indeed. Welcome into the Allen Hour. We're filming this right after the national championship went final. The final score 27-21. The Indiana Hoosiers, they get their first ever national title, beating the Miami Hurricanes. And what a game it was from start to finish. An absolute classic we got indeed. Defensive first half, offensive second half, gutsy fourth down run play from Fernando Mendoza, just Charlie Becker bailing him out a couple times with some throws down the field, just an absolute masterclass. And got to give Miami a ton of credit when their offense needed to go down and get some quick scores. They did, and they hung around the pump that was blocked for a touchdown. So much crazy stuff just happened in this game, guys. I can't believe everything that we got to witness in this game. And it's nice for once to not get a blowout of a national championship. I feel like a lot of the times it's just the luck of the draw and who you get. Sometimes you run into these super teams that just can't be beaten. And to Miami's credit, they played a hell of a game in just a 6-point loss for them. Guys, instant reactions. We'll start with, I'll go to Andrew first because he did pick Miami to cover this spread, the 8.5. He also did have the future on Miami to win the national championship. So I know he was kind of on the fence because he wanted Indiana to win so badly, or just was rooting for them, but kind of was conflicted because of that ticket.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked. I mean, to have to root against like the country's hero was kind of a stinky feeling. We have a cousin Dean who went to Indiana. I FaceTimed him before the game. I felt like such a you know what, telling him that I had money on the Hurricanes. But again, I mean, just college football wins again, and they keep on winning. And you could say what you want about NIL and the transfer portal. That stuff is a mess, okay? But it is balanced out the playing field. Now we saw an 8 seed last year. Now, yeah, given it was Ohio State. Now we saw the 10 seed this year go on a run and play Indiana of all teams. It's balanced the playing field a little bit, okay? This was the first team ever, I think, that I think Indiana had something like under 10 4-stars and 5-stars combined. And the lowest before that to win a national championship was like 44. Okay, that is insanity. Indiana they are such a fun story. I'm glad I won the spread, so at least I have like a semi-smile on my face about losing some money. But man, I mean, it was just a great game. And in the first half, I really just watching the game, I kind of every game make a note to myself of, okay, what needs to go right for this team to win? It wasn't going right for Miami. I mean, they were getting third and longs constantly. They weren't really running the football well outside of that one huge Mark Fletcher run. So it just didn't look like they had a lot of life. And man, I think they almost outgained Indiana by 200 yards in the second half. I mean, they really came back, and that defense just continued to be an absolute bruiser. It's just such a fun game to watch. I don't think we've seen Fernando Mendoza under pressure like that. He came through that 4th and 5. I mean, put his body on the line after Kurt Cignetti makes the absolute ballsy call of the game, and it works out. I mean, that's like a win or lose play right there. They lose the game, that's all you talk about. They win the game, that's all you talk about. Thankfully for them, they were on the other side of it, but man, just an awesome freaking game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That game was the epitome of what college football really is. I loved watching it. First half, not so much a defensive battle. If you like that, then that was your half. But if you loved offense, that second half was absolutely amazing. Just thrilled, action packed, and everything that you could ask for in a second half of a college football national championship game. That 4th and 5 play, that play is going to be talked about for years. He put his body on the line, and in the post-game interview, Kurt Cignetti, and shout out him, you wouldn't think that Indiana would be a football school, but now they're a football school because of him. That 4th and 5 play, they said that they drew it up in practice this week and designed it just for that play, and they changed some blockings up for it. And man, how about the balls to call that play? What an unbelievable play call! And again, Fernando laying it out, putting his body on the line. He is one tough son of a bitch. He was getting in the first half. There was probably 3 personal foul penalties that you could have called, and he was just getting killed on all those. On all those plays. He got back up, jumped right up, and that's what the future number 1 overall pick should look like. Seeing Tom Brady and Mark Davis in the sideline, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, if you
everyone showed out for the Raiders in this one.
exactly right, yeah. I mean, if you love college football, then that was the game for you. Just what a game all around. And shout out Andrew's squad um, over in Miami. Just yeah, just for really putting up a good fight against. I mean, again, but like you mentioned, the 8 seed and the 10 seed going back to back national championship games. That just shows you that really anybody really can win this now. College football national championship. Now it matters if you get in. I saw Marcus Freeman on the pregame show. I saw a meme that had him picking Notre Dame to win the national championship game. But yeah, no, just seriously, just what a game! Shout out, all those 4-star and 3-star guys on Indiana. They really showed out for them the whole season. They're just a gritty team, and that's if you like football, you like the ground and pound of football. That's the type of team that you want to watch because that team never gives up. Even though they're mostly older, they're mostly like 22, 23-year-olds, but still, just really what a game.
Yeah, and you mentioned Indiana, their lack of talent in terms of the stars attached to the players' names. Mendoza hit this in the post game press conference or a post game interview on the field. He was saying, I'm a former 2-star, and I didn't make the team on Miami. I walked on, I didn't make it. And shout out to Kirk Sitnetti and the rest of the coaching staff for giving me a chance here to try and do something special. It's really amazing what they've been able to do over there. Even if they had lost this game, like no one's looking at this as a fluke run. Like this is a coaching staff and a program that has really just solidified itself as one of the best in college football. To take you back to that 4th down run that we're talking about, I mean, just to recap the situation, 4th and 4 on the Miami 12, and Indiana up 3 points at this point. You kick the field goal, you go up 6. And Kurt Signetti realized my defense is not playing up to snuff. Miami is getting these quick scores. We have not had an answer on that side of the ball. We got to put the ball in our Heisman winners' hands. And fortunately for them, it worked out perfectly. As you said, Dan, that play they drew up specifically for a situation like that, it worked out to perfection. You got the signature Heisman Mendoza diving play at the goal line. Just picture perfect, like that's an all-time moment. Like in 10 years from now, when they're creating these promos and commercials for the college football championship in 10 years from now, and they highlight a couple plays from the last 10 years, 15 years, like that's a play that's going to make those promo cuts. That is an all-time moment in college football history. And for just how historic of a team this was as well, adding to that, it's unbelievable what they were able to do this season. One stat that I saw, they showed a graphic during the game, and it was, I believe, players that had won the Heisman, won the national championship, and then was drafted first overall, all in the same season. There were 2 players that are like older players. So I don't recall their names, but I believe they were probably like pre-70s, I would say.
60s.
The other names on the list was Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, and Joe Burrow. And now it's going to be Fernando Mendoza, assuming he goes first to the Raiders, which, again, they had everyone at that game. The owner, they had Brady. They had literally everybody at that game there to watch him. So assuming that he gets taken by the Raiders, that's a very short list of history. And another list as well that he joined in this one. Since 2000, here's the list of players to win the Heisman and win the national championship in the same season. Cam Newton, Devontae Smith, Derrick Henry, Joe Burrow, Fernando Mendoza. That's the list. So it's an elite group. It's an elite season. And I still can't believe that it's Indiana that is doing this and just figuring it out. 16-0. Like that is no slouch feat. And again, Miami, tremendous credit. They played a heck of a ball game. And that offense really, really surprised me late in that game. And Carson Beck, to me, played a good game up until that interception at the end. Like he was making the throws. He wasn't taking big sacks at the end on the final drive, especially. Like there was a play where Indiana got pressure and he kind of just flicked it forward for an incompletion. That preserved at least 15, 20 seconds on that clock to preserve that drive. I understand it didn't end where they wanted it to, but there were just plays like that throughout the game where he was taking what the defense was giving him when they were only rushing 3. He wasn't forcing throws down the field. He played a pretty good game up until that final throw that ended up costing them the game in the end. But I mean, I thought he played a pretty good game, all things considered. Just to run through the box score, the final stats. Mendoza finished 16 for 27, 186 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Leading in rushing for Indiana, it was Kalen Black, 17 carries, 79 yards. no touchdowns there. Roman Hemby had 19 carries for 60 yards, no touchdowns. It was Riley Nowakowski, the
Give
tight
me a
end,
break, by the way.
who had the 1-yard touchdown, which, listen, I had Mendoza first touchdown, by the
Oh,
way.
man.
And I had a parlay with Hemby and with Black to score any times. So I had the ball in the 1 in a 3-0 game. And I'm like, okay, well, it's either going to be a tush push, a sneak, or it's going to, I forget at the time which running back was in there, but I had either one. And I needed either one. So I was like, all right, nope, it goes to the tight end. And listen, it ends up working out, but it's just kind of a crazy first
I had
drive.
Cooper. I had Cooper first touchdown.
Okay.
Actually, my buddy had Becker. Oh my god, he was so pissed because he got the 1 foot in there, and they were like,
That's
"Oh,
right.
no, never
That's
mind."
right. They called
Yeah.
that back. Speaking of Becker,
Dog.
how many times is that guy going to just make these back shoulder catches where he's just coming back to the football and Mendoza's not even putting the best ball on him? He's just coming back and he is just hauling it in. That just seems to be the Becker signature play this season.
Yeah, and if you have anything, I would just say that this kid's an absolute stud. I mean, a kid from Tennessee. Him and Mendoza, they were apparently he sent him some clips of I forgot which wide receiver quarterback duo, in the preseason, and he was like, "We need to do this. Just throw it up back shoulder. He'll get it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but still, that kid is such a stud, and day in and day out, and game in and game out. If you need the ball down there, you got to go to Becker. I mean, he's like 7'11". This guy's always freaking open. Even if he's not, he's catching the damn ball.
I mean, they're just full of stories like that, and
Absolutely.
that's what college sports is supposed to be. I mean, look, it's fun watching the Devonta Smiths of the world and the Georgias dominate year after year, right? It's fun watching dynasties like that. But the thought that anybody has a chance, which really now is true, it really is what it's all about. And the storyline. Look, Dylan loves the storylines. You guys love the storylines.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And Indiana was just the storyline from the start. And look, as much of a ball knower as I consider myself to be, I wasn't very high on Indiana this year. I was kind of on the train that maybe last year was a fluke. They had a little bit of an easier schedule last year. They were able to win a lot of games because of it. And as soon as they got to the playoff, they lost. I mean, there was a reason they were an 101 team to win the national championship this year, right? I mean, they weren't at the top amongst the favorites. So nobody really saw this coming. And it's unbelievable how many people after that Ohio State game were just like, yeah, this is it. I mean, after that, it's just like, this is not a fluke anymore. This team is legit. They kept getting better and better. And even though Miami showed a great fight, I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just words can't describe. If I had another day, maybe I'd be a little more, I don't know. Maybe I'd be able to describe it better, but it's just right now, it's just all hitting me at once. And it really is just, it makes you smile, man. It's a lovely sport. It really is. It's a truly lovely sport.
It was that Mendoza effect.
Make
No
me tear up.
one saw this, dude. No one saw Mendoza having this Heisman winning season. That's in part why the odds for them were so high. And also because they had to go to Oregon and to Penn State, which everyone thought those were going to be some of the premier teams in that conference. So at the time, everyone's going, wow, that's a really difficult road schedule in conference. And it just, and to Penn State's credit, despite them not being the greatest of teams and kind of crumbling a little bit, they gave Indiana arguably their biggest test of the season because they were trailing. Unlike tonight, Indiana had the lead. They just had to maintain it and preserve it. Penn State had the lead in that game late, and it took a game-winning drive for them, and we all know how that ended up. So it's really crazy how what they were able to do with this group of guys, what they were able to do. And the Charlie Becker, they talked about it on the broadcast. This was one of the few guys that Curt Cignetti in the wide receiver room wanted to keep. And it wasn't like he was playing right away. He was playing special teams. He was not getting wide receiver minutes or snaps. Like, he had to earn his way there. And then they developed this play. And I'm sure Mendoza told him, like, hey, we got this play down. This is one of my go-to guys on the outside. We got to get this guy in more often. And now look, where Charlie Becker is. Everyone knows who Charlie Becker is now. It's really insane. I forgot to go through Miami's stats a couple minutes ago, so I'll quickly go through there. Yeah, quickly, I'll go through. Carson Beck, 19 of 32. He finished with 232 yards, a touchdown, and the 1 interception coming on the final drive of the game. Mark Fletcher finished with 17 carries, 112 yards, and 2 scores. He had the 57-yard touchdown in the third quarter. that got the game to a 3-point game, which Indiana was up 10-0 at that point up until that big run. Charmar Brown, 3 carries, 5 yards, not much there. Receiving for Miami, leading the way was Malachi Toney, 10 catches, 122 yards, and a score. CJ Daniels had 4 catches, 62 yards. Alex
Big
Bauman
catches
had
too.
big
CJ.
catches. Bauman had 22 yards on 1 grab, and a bunch of other guys had 1 grab as well. I don't know if I said Indiana's receiving. I think I forgot. Omar Cooper led it with 71 yards on 5 grabs. Charlie Becker, the man of the hour, 65 yards on 4 catches. Elijah Surratt didn't have that big of a game himself. In fact, he had a couple costly drops early on in the game that cost Indiana some drives at midfield, and they had to punt. He finished with 3 catches for 28 yards. And then Nowakowski, who had the rushing touchdown that we were talking about before, he had 2 catches, 17 yards, and Roman Hemby 2 grabs for 5 yards. So, again, not the most impressive game from Indiana from a yards perspective, but they just did enough to win the game. They played field position at times, and when they had to roll the dice, they rolled it, and they sure damn lucked out. I think they got to go to Vegas, play some craps, play something, because
I'm going to Vegas. Fuck it.
because when they had to roll the dice, it was in their favor, and it takes guts to call that 4th down run, because I was saying it, Andrew was saying it when we were watching the game, like that's one of those plays where if it works, you're like genius, absolute genius, and if it doesn't work, you're going, why is he running the ball? He's not like Josh Allen, this athletic guy that just can like bulldoze over people like I know he did on that play in a way, but
Crazy.
he's not the Cam Newton type of build where he's just jumping over everybody. So like that was a gutsy play call, and I don't want to harp on the play too much, but it was just I still couldn't believe that was what they called, and then that was the effort that we got from Mendoza to go up 24-17 at that, or 24-14 at that point. It's just
they came back scored.
It's a big play, and one play we haven't talked about was that blocked punt that gave Indiana the 10-point lead right when Miami was building some momentum. I know they had to punt the ball away inside their own territory, but they were starting to build some momentum. Indiana's lead was not as big as it once was. And it flipped the game on its head right then and there. It just, I couldn't believe what I had saw. Like just a punt block. My uncle bet both defenses to score touchdowns.
Smart.
So that hit for him. There you go. So there you go.
Indiana,
you got one.
plus
you got 1 or
400.
2. There you go. So everyone's happy there. Just a lot of stuff on the bingo card was checked off tonight.
I mean, you mentioned that punt block. Now you think about it, Miami's offense outscored Indiana's offense.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a crucial play in that moment, and it just so many things just went like wrong and right at the same time. And look, I stared at that TV 4th and 4. I was like, you got to kick this field goal. You got to go up 6. But maybe that's why he now has a national championship trophy and I don't. I mean, sometimes it's the play calls you need to make in situations like that. But again, we would have called him crazy if it didn't work. You would have called him crazy if it did work. And it was just the right kind of crazy.
Yeah, I feel like that play really was that was the turning point in the game. I think that they almost blocked the one before that too on the drive. But yeah, I mean, just the effort that those kids show. I think that he came from JMU as well. The kid that blocked it, I'm blanking the name, but he came from JMU, I think, and they kept harping on all these guys that came from JMU with Coach Signetti, which I think I've heard enough of. If I'm being honest, I feel like that's all I heard. But yeah, I mean, just like the effort that those kids show. Obviously, they're like a little older again, 23, 22, but these kids got 2, 3 stars. I mean, it's crazy to say that a 2-star quarterback is a Heisman winner, a national champion winner, and probably going to be the first overall pick, which is crazy. And hearing Indiana and college football national champion is crazy and just beyond me.
It's quite something. It truly is. It's really tough to just wrap your head around a feat like that. Dylan Joyce was the guy who blocked Mikhail Kamara was the one who blocked it, and then Isaiah Jones recovered it. So that was who was involved on the blocked punt touchdown. But yeah, I mean, that gave Indiana a 17-7 lead. And again, we were talking about how good the Miami offense looked in the second half. They right after that blocked punt for a touchdown. They go down the field in 10 plays, 81 yards. They got to score, and all of a sudden it's back to a 3-point game. And then you have the pivotal 4th down run play call on the Miami 12 that turns into 7 for Indiana. But then again, Miami responds with a 91-yard drive on 8 plays, 2.5
Yeah.
minutes. And it's all of a sudden a 3-point game once again. And this was the position we were talking about where Indiana hadn't really trailed a ton this year, but they were in a position where they had to either extend the lead, or maybe if they score another touchdown, they put the game away. They got the field goal, but it left the door open for Miami. And it was because of that costly false start on, I believe it was 2nd and 1.
That was their was that not the Big Ten offensive lineman of the year that did that? Or am
Their
I
left
thinking
tackle,
another
Smith,
play?
they were saying that he's going to be a 1st-round pick or
Yeah, I think he's
something.
the
Carter
literally the Big
Smith.
Ten. I think he's the Big Ten offensive. I'm thinking maybe the other side of the line, but
You might be
one of those
right.
kids.
I
Big
mean,
Big
that was
Ten
another thing that didn't go
lineman.
Indiana's way. They didn't play as disciplined as they usually play. I mean, you saw it in the beginning of the game too. They had some holdings and obviously that huge false start. And I mean, Signetti never cracked a smile until the end, whether it was a touchdown or a penalty. But yeah, it's just it didn't seem like the formula
Yeah.
Indiana needed to win the game, but yet they won the game. I mean, you talk about special teams; they have the block punt, and Miami has the missed field goal. It's a 10-point swing right there on special teams. And usually, the coaches like Kurt Signetti, the gritty, the grindy, they're usually pretty damn good at all facets, especially special teams, and that usually sneaks up on you because those guys are usually pretty good at blocking those punts and
Yep.
just getting stuff that usually doesn't happen, creating chaos, and it did happen for him again.
That was the Big Ten offensive lineman of the year, and you probably
All right,
never
there you go.
see him do that ever. Probably this whole season, him flinching, but still, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, you think about it. 2nd and 1 from the Miami 14-yard line. And essentially, you have 3 plays to get a 1st down. And you have, I think Miami at the time had 2 timeouts left, or maybe it was 1. And instead of getting that 1st down and then having essentially with under 2 minutes, putting Miami in this spot where they could get the ball back potentially with minimal time, you open the door. Now it's 2nd and 6, and it's a tough front to run against in Miami. 1-yard run, 1-yard run, and then on 4th and 4, you kick the field goal. There's still a minute 40 left in the game for Miami, and with college, you get a 1st down. It's the clock stops until the ball is spotted, and then so that's an eternity in football. With
Yeah.
a minute 42 and every 1st down, the clock stops. So that was just, to your point, Andrew, it's just like an uncharacteristic game from Indiana from a discipline and execution standpoint with penalties, and they still won the game. That's the biggest thing to me. It's like most of the cards went against them except for the punt block touchdown. And it was like, that was just the difference of the game. Miami outgained them offensively. There wasn't any turnovers in the game until the interception late. Like, they played a clean game of football. Might I add, it was a very physical game. The referees let these guys play for sure. So there were definitely some calls on both sides that were missed, that were not called. Take it for what you will. At least it was even in that sense. Didn't feel like one team got the short end of the stick. But just an overall classic national championship game. And as a college football fan, I'm just grateful for how this one played out, because I'm used to seeing sometimes where the Georgia TCUs, where it's 65-7 and the game's a wash. And although TCU was a tremendous story that year, they just,
TCU.
60 points you lose by in the national championship. It makes you really wonder, like, what were they doing there? It's just, or you just look and go, Georgia, wow, they were just really that good. And so even last year with Ohio State, as fun as they were to watch go on that run, the games weren't competitive. Even the game against Notre Dame, you look at the final score, it wasn't that big of a difference, but Notre Dame was down big late, and then they kind of started to come back when the game was kind of felt like it was out of reach at that point. So just kind of a misleading score. Like, we finally got a classic game where it could have been anyone who came out with a win. It was hanging in the balance until the last play of the game, which ended up being the interception. I am so happy with how this college football season ended. Besides my Rutgers Scarlet Knights not having a great season, that's the only wrinkle. Other than that, I feel like the playoff as a whole was a great product this year. I'll be interested to see where they go with potentially extending this. I don't know what you guys think about that. That could be another conversation for another day. I've been seeing some SEC commissioners being, or I should say athletic directors, wanting to keep the 12-team playoff. Then you get Notre Dame with this written clause, apparently, that they're going to get an automatic bid if they finish top 12. So there's going to be a lot of wrinkles next year that'll be interesting to see. But it's sad to see college football is no longer. We're gonna have to wait until August of this calendar year to see more.
It's the worst time of the year.
Exactly.
And as we've been recording this, if you've noticed, I've been prancing from back and forth. The Titans hired Robert Saleh as their next head coach.
Really?
Oh wow!
Yes.
What am I missing?
So for those that don't know, I am a
Sources.
social media coordinator at John Boy Media. So I am in charge of posting that right now, which is why I'm
Wow,
scrambling a little
Robert
bit.
Saleh.
I'm
Well,
glad
I'll
I got
tell
all
you-
my thoughts out there before.
What are your sources?
Is it?
Yeah,
Schefter?
Jordan Schultz is tweeting it. Diana Rossini,
Nice.
Marov tweeted it. I'll
Nice.
tell you what.
Follow
I
this
saw a
account.
tweet. Yeah, follow John Boy. I saw a tweet earlier today, and I don't remember who tweeted it, so I apologize. I can't credit them for it, but it was essentially saying like the 3 coaches that have been hired thus far, Harbaugh, Stefanski, and Hafley, each of the teams that hired those coaches, the coach had a meeting set. The next team was the Titans. So
Yes.
3 coaches they missed out on having a meeting with because the prior team was able to close out a deal and just snatch them up before they could be available for that next meeting. So Robert Saleh now lands with Tennessee. I don't know if, again, I have to look at this, but I don't know how many interviews did Saleh have before this one, or was
I
this
think it
his
was the
first
Cardinals.
Cardinals?
Yeah, I'm not
also,
confident. I know.
Them going with the defensive-minded head coach. I know this isn't a football NFL pod, but them having a defensive-minded head coach when they wanted to really work with Cam Ward it's kind of interesting to me.
It is very interesting, and especially for a coach that, I mean, listen, it's the Jets. So if you're of that mindset where it's just a cursed franchise, then you throw this point completely out the window. But didn't have the greatest of tenure with the Jets either. So it is a bit of a questionable decision. He gets a redemption shot with the Titans, and I'm with you, Dan. You would have thought that they would have gone with an offensive guy due to Cam Ward being their future. And he didn't have Brian Callahan for longer than half the season or whatever it was. So you figured an offensive guy would have made sense. But listen, with Stefanski gone, maybe they looked at the offensive market for coaches and they weren't too thrilled. So you never do know. I do think he's a solid defensive coach. I do think the Jets are cursed. So I do think he has a chance to succeed here with Tennessee. So
adding on to what you said before I announced the Robert Saleh news, it is the worst time of the year.
Yeah.
The end of college football is the worst. You get noon, those Saturdays where you could just start at noon and end at 2 in the morning are some of the greatest times like ever. And it stinks. And I know for me personally, I do want to thank Dylan. I know Dan wants to thank Dylan as well for giving us the opportunity to talk about this sport on this platform. It's a lot of fun. The tournament was a lot of fun. Hopefully we get to talk more ball next year, boys. I'm going to miss you.
I know.
But this has been so much fun.
We'll find it. We'll find some way to get you guys back on here. Don't worry about that. We'll find when the Yankees get back in action. I know we're all big Yankee guys. Andrew's a big Yankee. Andrew's the biggest Yankee person I know. He runs his own account as well. So it's like the Yankee season should be interesting. So we'll definitely have some
shout out Bronx Bombers with 2 S's. Yeah, I don't like the look right now. So I'm not pumped to talk about the Yankees, but I will always talk about
I don't like it either, but I didn't know you ran this account.
I'm fully ready to see the notification that they gave Bellinger 40 a year or some garbage.
I just whatever.
I follow.
There you go. That's his account. Go follow.
All my boys follow, bro. I got like 10 people. Dude, half my family follows this account. There you go.
There you go. Big time.
Man of the people. What can I say?
He's committed. He posts edits too. It's great stuff. Great content on there. But yeah, so definitely stay tuned.
Miss you guys.
Yeah, listen.
Never see you there.
It's never a goodbye. It's a so long. That's what I've been taught over my 24 years of life here. So there's always time and a place for you guys on here.
And I appreciate you giving me the platform to talk. As a newly college football.
There's our cousin, the IU graduate.
As a newly college football fan, new into the scene.
Here, get him on here, Andrew.
I've appreciated this. So thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Dan. Tell him we're live. I want to get a fan's reaction. This is perfect. A perfect content. We get an IU graduate reaction.
A disclaimer. We're live.
Yeah, let him know we're recording so he knows.
I feel like it'd be funnier if he didn't know.
Well, and I might have to do some editing. Who knows? I figured just give him the heads up.
Edit real quick.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Dean is is our age, Dan. He graduated in
Oh,
May of 24. So when they hired
Ours.
Signetti, he never got to experience
sucks.
Signetti, which sucks. So yeah, his first year coaching was that fall. He graduated in
That
May of that
stinks.
year, so he
Yeah,
never really
he
got to
saw
experience
them.
it. But
He knows I bet Miami, so he called me twice already earlier in the show.
You didn't answer.
He thought I was ducking the answer. I'm like, yeah, come on, man, I'm not that guy. But he did not answer.
I still can't believe you had a
So,
future that went all the way up there, man.
yeah.
That's awesome, man.
It was a fun run. It felt like I was on the team, man.
Seriously.
Bro
I'll
thought
tell
he
you
was
what,
on
it
the
felt like
team.
I was on Indiana with how this was going. Seeing the game in person against Oregon, it
Yeah,
was.
that Stroud meme is crazy.
You see what I sent you? I sent
What
you
is it,
this.
Carson Beck?
He said, "No more eligibility. Good luck, boys." Did you
Good
see
God.
that he hasn't taken a class in 2 years? Did you see that?
I did
That
see
he
that.
hasn't-
That is like that he
Oh
has
my
to have
God.
slipped up what he said there. He's
No,
not supposed to.
he
let people know
hasn't
that.
taken a class in 2 years. Also, I mean, come on,
Good
man.
Lord.
They gotta figure this shit out.
Neither have I.
Hopefully they give Trinidad a 6th year. I would be back here, and I would be literally praying, because they're such a wagon. If
Yeah.
he's back, they fix their defense, which they have. Oh, I can't. I'm gonna go to Nashville when they play Louisville. Open up the season.
You are
in
gonna
Nash-
go. You're gonna go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Fuck
All
it.
right, there you go. We'll have some content down there from Dan as well.
Get him a media pass.
Yeah, we're
Get
gonna
this guy
have
some
to.
credentials.
We're gonna have to reach out and well,
Oh, I'm
when this
getting
thing
a phone
when this
call.
thing grows up. He's calling
Cruiser.
back.
Dean Fisher, you are live on the Allen Hour. Anything you would like to say to the people?
What the fuck did I say?
What do you? Because it's a family-friendly show here, please.
No,
Can you
fuck it. No,
relax?
he's good. He's good.
What the frick did I say?
Yeah.
It was always the Hoosiers. Congrats on the spread, but I do not care.
This kid's awesome.
That's
This
a totally
kid's
fair point, Dino.
That's how I felt when I picked this game.
Is he
I'll
from
see
Jersey,
you on
though?
Friday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Friday, bub. Talk to you.
I will see you on Friday.
What he's referring to there is now I have to sit through a Rutgers Indiana basketball game with him because he had no one else to take, and I got to watch my crap team play basketball. So
Your quarterback might get drafted, or it might be a UDFA, right? Get from
Ethan,
Rutgers.
yeah,
Rutgers
there's a
quarterback?
chance. Yeah,
there's a shot, man. There's a shot.
he's solid.
He's better than
not
that
bad.
Kansas kid. He could get picked over Jaden Daniels, I think.
Uh,
I was seeing some mock drafts.
Jane Daniels has been in college since like I started high school, I think.
It's Diego Pavia, same thing.
Good
Yeah.
Lord. I'll tell you what, the college football landscape is going to look
The
a lot
Hoosiers.
different next year with some of these like 6th and 7th year guys.
How about Hoover? He'll be the
not having
quarterback
any
next year.
eligibility.
Hoover
I'll
will
tell
be
you
the
what, man,
quarterback
they are
next year.
set up for success next year with Hoover at the helm. It's kind of nuts. And they're going to come to Piscataway next year, Dan, if you're interested in watching
Let's go.
Indiana put a beat down. They are coming to play Rutgers next season here.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it should be fun, but fun
I'll
for
meet Andrew.
Indiana bettors and stuff. But yeah, no, you get to see Josh Hoover. Yeah, you get to meet Andrew. Listen, there will be a time and a place for college football content over the summer
Come
and
on,
stuff
me.
like that because there is always transfer portal news and there's always news coming out of different programs, coaching people moving around. So whenever stuff comes out that's very relevant to talk about, we'll definitely have some content uploaded on that. Like I said, we're definitely going to have some Yankee content as well coming up. The NFL is slowly coming to a close as well, so we'll hold on to dear life for that. We have the championship games coming up next weekend, and then obviously the Super Bowl, and then we'll have some draft content. I know the Giants, they have the 5th overall pick, should be the first, but they have the 5th overall pick with newly hired coach John Harbaugh and the whole dynamic with Joe Shane and all that. So we'll definitely have some offseason Giant content as well. And as the sports world kind of releases its news to us in the public, I will muster up some other content as well as it comes out. So definitely don't go anywhere. I don't think this is just a college football podcast. We just love the sport, man. We want to come on here. We want to talk about college football as much as we can. And it's a sad night that we have to say goodbye to it until August, but at least we were given the game of the year, and what a game it was for the national championship, both teams laying it on the line. Dan, Andrew, before we send this thing a wrap, anything else you guys want to say?
Yeah, it stinks. It really stinks.
It's
And
over.
I do 9-2 on the panel. Did
Oh yeah,
wanna
right.
throw that
We'll
out
say the
there
records real quick. So Andrew, yeah, you finished 9-2.
Shut up! You actually finished 9-2.
Yeah,
That was the math.
I
He-
was
he-
9-2 on the panel.
This guy
Think
knows
about it. He
ball.
bet Miami every game. That's 4 games.
My only two, I would have been 10-1 if
Rooting
it wasn't for
flips.
damn JMU.
Right. Think about that. He picked Miami every spread. That's 4 games.
Who came in last is a real question.
That's me. I'll take that on the chin. Yeah, I went 4-7, and Dan went 5-6. So there you go.
Did
And
come in
the
last.
difference is the Ole Miss Georgia game. If you want to look at it
Hotty
that way,
toddy, baby.
your boys Ole Miss. Bro.
Fuck, man.
There you
No,
go.
I appreciate you letting me come on here talk about college
Always.
football. You know, me and Dylan became really good buddies at ESPN, so I'm glad that we became buddies. I'm glad we can talk about college football
Hell
and
yeah.
other stuff. I see Dylan once every couple of weeks, so it's nice to see him. It's nice to talk college ball with him and his brother. So shout out the Allen Hour.
Very nice guy.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate the kind words.
Shout
And
out the
listen,
Allen Hour.
we're going to let you go because you got an early wake-up call tomorrow. Speaking of ESPN, you got to be up at 4 in the morning tomorrow to work DPH or Rothenberg, so I'll make sure that we get off. I'll make sure
I
you
did
get
not
some
know it was
sleep.
that early.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
I
that's
was
why I was like,
unaware.
let's try and get on here.
It's all good.
I would have walked up the steps
so
a little faster.
Listen, if you wanted to know the efforts, the lengths we go to for the Allen Hour pod, Exhibit A right there. Dan's got to be up in 4 hours as we're filming this 12 a.m. right now, so less than 4 hours. So we'll let him get some rest. What a college football season it was. Again, Indiana, the 2026 national champions, finishing with a perfect record, 16-0. Fernando Mendoza is your Heisman winner. He'll be likely your first overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. What a season it was, 27-21. They got the win over the Miami Hurricanes in the second year of the 12-team playoff. For Andrew, for Dan, I'm Dylan, signing off from the Allen Hour. Make sure you follow us at all of our social media handles. I'll have them here. Leave a like. Make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment. Talk about the game, what a game it was. And I will look at all that stuff. I'll respond to you guys in the comments. So again, subscribe, leave a like, comment, and we'll see you guys next time.